Do you expect these talks to take place? They are really about implementation of phase one. If they're postponed this weekend, will they resume before the election?
If I were advising, I would say have the talks, because it's a wonderful opportunity for airtime on the one issue that nobody argues with ahead of the election. Whether that'll happen, I don't know, but there's plenty of stuff to talk about there.
Yeah, and the one issue that everybody talks about is we don't like China. The Republicans don't like China. The administration is whacking them, and the Democrats say us too. We don't have any truck with that, any reason to love them either, right, John?
That's right, Tyler. Trump won this one because everybody wants now to hate China. Trump got there first, so the best Biden can do is say, I hate them too. That's not going to help him in the election. The soybeans are not being bought that were promised. We're about half of the deliveries that were in the phase one. There's not going to be a phase two, and there's no incentive for President Xi to do anything ahead of the election.
No. So what you've got is an agreement I guess, in principle, to buy more American goods, most especially agricultural goods, which helps President Trump in the Farm Belt, but they haven't followed through. So what's the enforcement mechanism there other than bad boys in China, and they are mostly boys, by the way, start buying? What are you going to do?
Well, there is no enforcement mechanism for promising to buy things, just like there aren't for other promises in life. Longer-term issues like intellectual property, opening markets are not going to get talked about with this short a fuse before the election. But it's a great opportunity to say something about the Farm Belt that could help Trump. That also gives Xi power to say no and to interrupt that on air at some point between now and November. I believe Xi would prefer to have Mr. Biden than Mr. Trump in the White House.
So let's talk about any market, and I mean domestic equity market fallout that could occur as a result of these stumbling blocks that are in there. And I note that you say you have been upping your cash levels. I don't know whether it's because of this or other things, but explain.
I was heavy cash ahead of the coronavirus for 19 different reasons I've talked about on air. I was then a big buyer through second quarter, but I've been selling now for the last few weeks, especially NASDAQ stuff, because it's overpriced and because there's head fakes about the recovery. The money that people have gotten is short term. It's made people spend. The mortgage delinquencies are not being recorded by banks, but they will be starting in the fall. And the moratorium on evictions and the like will sooner or later end too. Lenders are starting to tighten credit, and tightening credit, non-price rationing, is how credit crisis happens. So I think we've got a difficult fall ahead of us, and I'd rather have cash in order to buy things at half price.